I still remember the text she sent me that morning, clear as a bell, and yet somehow it carried a weight I couldn't prepare for. I want us to renew our vows this weekend. 10 years together. Please say yes. I stare at my phone, a small smile forming, almost instinctively. 10 years, a decade of mornings, of dinners, of whispered laughter in the dark. I felt warm, maybe even a little giddy. But beneath that warmth, something prickled, something I couldn't yet name. At first, I brushed it off. Life had been hectic lately. Work, bills, small arguments over nothing. I told myself that was why the feeling lingered, why her text felt almost heavy. But the warning signs started creeping in, subtle as shadows at dusk. She began missing calls. Little things at first. A delayed reply here, a forgotten text there. I didn't want to believe it, so I rationalized maybe she was busy. Maybe I was overthinking. But then came the weird excuses. Meetings that didn't make sense, nights working late, that she insisted were normal. I even noticed her phone, always face down, always buzzing with notifications she would quickly swipe away. It started gnawing at me. My stomach twisted when I'd catch a glance at her, pretending to scroll while her thumb hovered nervously. She smiled at me, but there was something forced, almost rehearsed. I questioned myself first. Was I being paranoid? Was I imagining betrayal where there was none? But the unease lingered unshakable. And then came the discovery. I was looking for a charge in the bedroom, and her phone, locked, always locked, slid out from under the pillow. Against every instinct, I swiped it open, and there it was, a string of messages from a man I didn't know. Names didn't matter as much as the words. Can't wait to see you tonight. You're mine. I wish I didn't have to hide this. I felt like the floor had been pulled out from under me. My heart thudded painfully in my chest. Memories I had treasured, her laughter in the kitchen, the quiet evenings on the couch, the way she'd rest her head on my shoulder while I read, flashed through my mind, and suddenly they weren't hers. They were lies. I wanted to scream, to throw the phone across the room, but instead, I just sat there, shaking, staring at the glowing screen. When she came home that evening, radiant and excited, talking about flowers, candles, and our special weekend, I felt a strange calmness. My anger hadn't fully arrived yet. It was hovering beneath the surface, simmering. I watched her, memorizing the curve of her smile, the way she tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, the way her eyes searched mine for excitement. And I thought once more of the text, the one that had started all of this. I didn't say a word about what I had found. I let her speak, letting the warmth she tried to offer roll over me, and I realized that the real heartbreak wasn't just a betrayal. It was that I had to pretend, even for a moment, that nothing had happened. Finally, she reached across the table, her hand brushing mine, eyes glistening. So you'll do it? Renew our vows. And I said it. I looked her in the eyes, steady and calm, and said the words that would make everything shatter. No, I can't. Not after everything. The silence that followed was immediate, heavy, suffocating. She froze mid-breath, lips slightly parted, eyes wide, as though she couldn't understand the words coming from me. She tried to speak, but nothing came out. I watched the color drain from her face, and somewhere in that frozen moment, I realized she had never imagined a response like mine. I thought her voice was barely a whisper, trembling. You thought, what? That 10 years could erase everything? That a weekend vow renewal could fix lies? My voice cracked, though I fought to keep it steady. I loved you. I gave you my trust. And you threw it away. You don't get to dress it up in flowers and romantic words now. She looked down, silent, guilt written all over her face. And in that silence, I felt a strange liberation. The betrayal had cut deep. Yes, but the moment I spoke the truth, it was like stepping out of a cage I hadn't realized I was in. I remembered all the little lies that now stung, the sudden laughter that didn't reach her eyes, the secretive phone calls, the way she always smelled a little different when she came home late. The memories that had once been comforting now felt sharp and cold. But even in the pain, I felt a sense of clarity I hadn't felt in years. She left the room without another word. shutting the door softly behind her. I sat there for a long time, letting the quiet sink in, listening to the echo of what once was. And in that quiet, I made a decision, not out of anger, but out of self-respect. I would not chase someone who had already chosen lies over love. I would not let my heart be a home for betrayal. The next days were hard, but they were honest. No pretense, no half-truths. Just me, sorting through the wreckage, remembering the man I wanted to be, and realizing I was still in there somewhere. Stronger, wiser, free from illusions. I don't know if she ever truly understood what she had lost. But I know this. The man I am now doesn't need validation from someone who couldn't value him. And maybe that is the hardest lesson, and the one most worth learning.